one of the big things I thought about during COVID and everything, among other things, was Collin, when you came on the podcast, your dream was to play music and travel outside of the country. And you were scheduled to do that. You were scheduled to do that the summer of 2020 and realize this dream that he's had for so long because he's been grinding and grinding. And then that happened, and I was just like so bummed for you because I knew how much that meant to you and how you were looking forward to it, and now you're back right on track though.
We're lucky enough to have a European tour in the books again, and a festival date in Mexico now for 2022.
I should start this off by saying, so Collin is the drummer in the Neal Francis band. Neal came on episode 92. We went over to his place, and it was so much fun. And Neal's got a new record coming out this fall. He's got a new single out, and just doing awesome things. And Collin is drumming with him, and it's so much fun. It's so great to see it. And this episode will come out right before you're playing at the Pritzker Pavilion.
Oh, cool. Nice.
And I'll be there. If anybody wants to come, hit me up. We'll have a great time.
Yeah, it's a free show. Bring some wine and cheese, sit in the park.
Yeah.
Great.
I did not know this, but you can bring a cooler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can go hard out there,
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah.
So you're touring.
Huh?
So you're back to touring.
We are back to touring. Yeah, it was pretty wild riding the pandemic out and stuff, and then kind of when shows were back on, like for us, it kind of just went 0 to 60 like really fast. We had the opportunity to open for the Revivalists at Red Rocks for 2 nights, which if that would have happened in 2020 on the original date, it would have only been 1 night. Okay. So that was sort of like a little blessing, like, get to play one of the best venues in America twice in a row.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and then we've just had some really great opportunities kind of coming out of the pandemic, and I'm really proud of the band and our manager Brendan and our whole team for kind of just like keeping our head up throughout all the wild stuff that that the COVID era brought on. But I think it was a good lesson for all of us to just like, roll with the punches and, keep your head above water and keep pushing.
Yeah, so I know, I talked to Neal about it, and he had been in like just touring mode, live mode, and watching Neal play live is a great experience. It's so energetic and filled with so much like hope and energy, and he had to shift to recording. So then his whole space became like a recording setup, and he brought in these old machines, and other members in the band are all putting their heads together to figure out how they're going to record and everything. What also have you been doing during that time?
So recording this last record was a really amazing experience. I guess I should start like when the pandemic kind of hit, or when the quarantine for like the whole nation started. We were on the road, and we were in Seattle, so we were supposed to do like a radio, like a filmed taped radio session the next morning, and we woke up and like that was canceled, and then everything else was canceled. So we were like starting to drive home, and at the time I was living in Denver, and we didn't really know what was going to happen because no one knew what was going to happen. We didn't know if like it was going to be 2 weeks of shows canceled or 2 months, or we had no idea. So we were actually like coming up to the split on the highway to go back to Denver and take me home, and then the rest of the band was going to go back to Chicago. And all morning I was like, I'm still paying rent at this place in Denver. Like I should I should go live there if we're not going to be playing shows and stuff. And that morning, it kind of dawned on me. I was like, I don't know how long this is going to go on for. And, like, if I split up with you guys, like, when's the next time we're going to be able to practice or do anything? So, like, literally, like, at the fork in the road, I was just like, you know what? Like, screw it. I'll go back to Chicago. And, like, and Neal was super gracious and kind enough to let me move in with him. And at the time, Rich, as you know, you went to the church, but yeah. So Neal was living in a church out in like Belmont Cragen that he used to play church organ for, and they let him move into like the parsonage. So both Neal and Lil, who owned the church, were nice enough to let me like move in to like one of the extra rooms there and like ride the pandemic out there, which was pretty incredible. But we also had the opportunity to like build this studio essentially like not entirely from scratch. Our friend Mike Novak brought like his whole studio rig over, which he usually keeps at Chicago Electric Piano Company. And then Neal and the band bought 2 different tape machines. So just over time, we like amassed all this gear, all this like old analog music gear, like just like shit from like sorry, I don't mean to swear, stuff from like the 60s and 70s and everything. And yeah, we built this analog studio and just like had all this time to like write and record and mix and like
How would you describe Neal's music to listeners?
Man, it like lyrically, his music comes from like a very genuine place that's like deep inside. Like he doesn't have many like throwaway lyrics at all. Like a lot of his stuff really like resonates with either things that he's been through or topics that he can really speak truthfully from. And then musically, like on this record, it really spans a lot of different genres. Like it's going in between like New Orleans funk from the 70s to like more like I don't know, like Hall & Oates almost inspired stuff to like Pink Floyd inspired stuff, but definitely based in like a rock and funk sort of like stew.
He had mentioned that he was going in. The music wasn't exactly going to be the same as the last album, so I was really excited to kind of hear the direction he's going in. But what really tipped me off, not ticked, was the artwork for the single, the artwork on the website. I love this artwork. Who made this artwork?
His name's and I'm gonna butcher his last name. I'm so sorry. It's Raul Uriz.
Okay.
And Neal and the band. We have a good relationship with the guys at Dark Matter Coffee.
Okay.
And Raul does all the art for all the like Dark Matter cans and stuff.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that was like a long process of getting in touch with him and like getting the artwork created. We were working through.
It's awesome. This artwork is so awesome.
It's super cool. Yeah, it's like Neal's face, and there's like elements of the church that that we were living in and recorded the record in, like interspersed. It's like a stained glass like drawing. It's cool. It's
like pop art meets Frank Lloyd Wright meets Neal Francis. It's just so cool.
Which I think is like perfect for Neal, because like Neal originally went to college to be an architect.
Yeah.
He's super into architecture. We even have the blueprints of the church we were living in. We'd spend hours like looking
studying the blueprints.
Yeah, super cool.
But yeah, Raul really knocked it out of the park there.